Y durante nuestro recorrido por California llegamos a Santa Ana, donde hemos aprendido que la pieza de alfarería más antigua proviene de la época del jamón de Japón, que data del año 10.000 a.C. Durante la evolución neolítica se hizo necesario recipientes para la sobreproducción de la cosecha. Los alfareros especializados provienen de Mesopotamia, donde inventaron técnicas y herramientas para trabajar la arcilla, como el torno y el horno para cocerla. Pero vamos con Kevin Myers, quien nos explicará.
This is Muddy Studio, and this is a community, pretty much a community, not really a community center, but a center for the ceramic arts, and we bring people in from the community to become members and to establish a credibility in ceramics. We go right from the start from raw clay. This is actual raw clay that comes right out of the bag and is produced in a factory, Laguna Clay Company up in the City of Industry. It goes from a raw form like this into a pot. This was thrown on the potter's wheel. And then it goes from this stage into being dry. This is dry clay. So this is wet. This is called greenware. It goes into a bisque stage, BISQUE, where it has been fired one time. After it's been fired, it goes into a glaze stage where the glaze has been applied to the clay, and then it's fired. And the firing temperature is 2,365 degrees Fahrenheit. Color here is it's actually fired at the same temperature. It's just two different glazes. It's just two different colors. One is copper and one is cobalt. Cobalt produces blue, copper produces red. This was thrown on this piece was thrown on the wheel. This was thrown on the wheel. This is hand built. These pieces are very interesting because they started off with a ball of clay and then a firecracker was put inside, and the firecracker blew the piece up and blew it into this shape. This is hand thrown on the wheel, and this is hand built.
My name's Bob. I've been working on this piece probably about 15 or 20 minutes. It's a long process because the piece actually has to dry out, do what we call leather hard. Then I turn it over and I actually trim it and make it all nice and neat. And then it has to dry, and then we fire it, a bisque fire. So that takes a day or more, and then we glaze it and then fire another time for a glaze. So it'll actually take a couple weeks for it to actually be finished.
Look at this piece. This is gorgeous. Esta pieza es bellísima. Can you tell us about this piece?
The artist, her name is Dana, and she is a student that is preparing for graduate school, probably next year. She's working on her skills here and getting it pretty much tightened up, so she'll be pretty much readily accepted at any graduate school if she wants to apply. This is the kiln, KILN, and it's filled from the floor all the way to the top with all of the work. It's fired to 1920 degrees Fahrenheit. It's unloaded. It's put on this cart. It's called bisqueware. That work is now ready to glaze, and then it goes from that cart onto the cart next to you that has color on it. The colored pieces are again put into the kiln and then fired to 2,365 degrees Fahrenheit and then finished.
My name is John Steenhoven, and I've been doing art for quite a few years actually, and when Muddy Studio opened, I was just delighted to be a part of it. My wife and I share this studio, and we do different types of art forms. This is the latest one that I've been working on. It actually started with this piece here, and I wanted to do a sculptural piece, and then I thought, what could I possibly put this piece of sculpture on top? So I thought, well, I'll put it on a box. So I built this box, and then I thought it looks like a house. So I started to carve windows in the house, and then I thought I should put something in the center. So that's the chimney of the house. So I'm just finishing building this house right now. That's been my major project for the day. This is one of my favorite pieces. This one I had at a gallery in Laguna last year, and it is called Embrace because you can see the various parts of the clay coming up and embracing the green part. And it's actually began life as a large thrown bowl that I threw on the wheel, and then I fabricated these pieces, which went along the side of it, fired it in a bright green glaze, and then applied acrylics over the top of it. So there's so many different forms of art that you can explore with clay. It's just a lot of fun. You must join us.
Bueno amigos, estas clases de alfarería son súper divertidas, así que yo regreso. No se vayan en Aquí, California.
This is our gallery space. It's called the Myers Gallery, It's associated with Muddy's studio, but it's the Myers Gallery. And we offer national and international shows. This last year we offered 4 shows and had work come from Hungary and from Italy and Australia. And we are getting to be fairly known in the ceramic society as far as showing people's work. Thrown on the wheel and had to do with the interior of the form, and was thrown and hand built and altered. This form here was all hand built, done by hand, and has a series of hands that are inside. It was about reproduction and interior as well. This project deals with architecture and of a Chinese sense, and very well made. These pieces here, both of these, are done in, the project was based on social and political commentary, and it was based on a classical reproduction of a Greek form. And you see here the oil dredge and the automobiles, and that's a crisis that we're facing now with our oil industry. This piece is of Chinese origin. It's a reproduction with a social and political commentary on the surface as well. These represent containers for containment of and moving of material, but in this case they've been used to contain animals that have been slaughtered, and animals' rights is pretty much what this is all about here. This project is about interior as well, and architecture, and it has to do with the woodpecker and how instrumental the woodpecker is in creating a form. This is actually the social and political commentary form that has all advertising logo on it. From you have Calvin Klein, and you have Chanel No. 5, and you have all of the brand names that are being exemplified on this piece here. And the artist that has made this is all about architecture and interior as well, and it's the same artist that made the containers, and it's about animal rights as well.
Richard, tell us about that technique to get that beautiful texture on your art.
Okay. What I do is everything starts off as a cylinder, and I put a chemical on it called sodium silicate, and as it gets hard, it creates this hard shell. And so once I start bowing it out, making it round, I break that outer shell into random patterns, and that's how I get this textured piece like this.
And you're getting ready to do this with this piece right now?
Yes, I am. What I've done is I've thrown the cylinder, as you can see, and I've put the sodium silicate on, and right now it's in the process of drying. And as soon as that dries, then I can start bowing it out and creating the effect that I'm after. What I'm going to do is I have to put a little water on the rib, put it into the clay, and start stretching this out and breaking that shell that I created with the sodium silicate earlier. So I'll start spinning the wheel. And at one point I'll hit it with a heat gun to re-strengthen the wall, because as it gets thinner, the clay's still pretty heavy, but as the clay gets thinner, it wants to collapse even more. You can see it's got a bit of a wobble in it, but I can fix this up as part of the process. And this way, by drying the clay out, it makes the wall stronger and stiffer to support that weight. Let me stop it here so you can see what this looks like. And that's how I get the crackle pattern. And it's totally random. I can't duplicate it.
Raku, you heat it up to just about red hot. You take it out into the air and you put it into these barrels so they catch fire. And then you put the lid on so the fire takes all the oxygen out of the atmosphere, and the glaze turns color because you're taking the oxygen out of the barrel. Timing is really important. You never know exactly what you're going to get, which makes it kind of fun. Okay? Ready? crackle glaze, so I actually want it to cool a little bit before I put it in there, because when it shrinks it crackles. So let it cool a little bit. Sometimes you can hear it ping, 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 ping. Good fire with this one. Watch out for this. This is how it comes out of the kiln. The part where I didn't put glaze is going to be black from the smoke, just black like this, and in between it's going to be white, and when I wash this up, it's going to have a nice black spiderweb crackle pattern all around it. It's going to be really pretty, and it'll be really glossy and nice. So you see how it's inside, it's white and black. It'll be kind of more like white and black on the outside with these black designs. See?